Morning. It's time for a update on Crabtree properties. So I'm going to take you around and kind of show you where we're at, and at least where I'm at and what's going on. I've got this new camera holder, so I can extend this a little bit. Maybe I can do a little bit better job. We'll see how that works today. I'll take it a video. Anyway, here we are. And if you remember, this is probably the first tree I planted. I did a video on that, and that's a pear tree, and that's the other pear tree. We have a pair of trees, and up here we have the plums, and no plums on them this year. They did have some blossoms, but didn't come to fruition. And over here I've been trimming this one because up here the aphids have been moving in, so I'm just cutting this off and trimming it back a little bit. And we had a series of ants down here, and I don't see I gave them some granules that take care of them, but I'll show you another anthill on this other side. But so there's that one. Here's the yellow columnar apple, which it goes crazy. And there's people that say you need to take some of that fruit off, and probably will in a while. But right now, like, that looks like that's, we'll let it grow for a while. And that's another plum over there. This is the Howard apple. This guy wasn't doing too good. And again, for removing fruit, well, I'll probably take some of these off. This one here looks like it's had a little something going on there. So we'll let nature have its way with these guys. Here's the another columnar apple. Howard apple. I'm sorry. The yellow was a columnar yellow tree. This is a red apple tree. And over here is a Granny Smith, which I don't know. I've been dripping water in them, and I do need to clean the grass out around the roots, and I'll probably make this a little bit bigger. And but the Granny Smith seems to be doing fairly well. Again, there's stuff that there's a wormhole there, I guess, and we'll make sure it has two holes, one in and one out, when we go to pick that one. Here's a yellow apple, which had a large branch growing off the bottom, and I took that off this year. Down there, so this one maybe in 2 years will be a lot bigger, and it's actually probably about the size where I'd want it to be off the ground and spread out. So that's of course we still have our old tractor tire. We'll do something with that eventually. And got a little drinking fountain for the birds, and you see the chickens all decided to come up here for water. And there they are. Still working on raking rocks around. Got this changed around a little bit. Back here, I have to give Jim a lot of credit. He's got like a green thumb. Here's the backyard, which was all dirt. We came in and weeds, and they brought that around. That's a grapevine. When we moved in, was all dead, had grown clear across this back fence, and I cut it all off, but there it is coming back again. I'll cut it back again, I think, this year, keep it smaller. Here's our tomatoes. And I asked Jim, God, what happened to that one on the end? Are we not watering it? And he said, this guy here, again, the aphids took it. So gonna leave it there in case more aphids come, and we blew them all off. But here's tomatoes. Planted 2 of them. That's a volunteer tomato down there. And actually it's started way in the bottom. We just left it like that. A lot of elm trees got to be pulled out. More tomatoes. There's some cilantro. Planted that. There's some kind of that's mint down there in between the blocks, and there's more tomato. And of course this grass is just this is all Bermuda grass, but that's regular grass over there. So we're letting this grow, cover up the rocks, and it's kind of, then of course the weeds are there right now, but we'll get them out. Jim watered this morning, and go down this first row. I think there's some jalapeno seeds in there, but they don't seem to be coming up. Maybe they're drowned, who knows, but they'll be up. And of course sunflowers, that the rest of that row down there is all sunflowers, and then all in the back, the middle rows are all chili, and we have a rabbit that lives here. We haven't really tried to do anything to him. I don't know if you can see that water draining into him. I'm sure you get tired of his living room being flooded all the time. But then of course that's all the grass is orchard grass. And the trick now is to keep the grass and get rid of the weeds. And we'll keep these little canals in here regardless what we do. We could always plant trees back here if we ever get the funding for trees. But right now there's let's see, there's lettuce down there that's coming up. You can see I'd walk down there but it's too muddy, but on the side of the trench there's lettuce, there's sunflowers in there that come up, and there's last year's corn, volunteer corn. Actually, that's the far back, there's a whole lot of sunflowers. That's where I was feeding the crows this year, and I used the same seed to plant the long row over there. Down here there's onions. I don't know if you can see the onions all along here. Quite a few onions. Just watered about an hour ago. It takes maybe an hour and a half to flood the field, and it comes out pretty good. And of course we got volunteer corn, and that's the corn I planted. I used all red seeds. Now, I don't know if the corn will all be red, because when it gets pollinated, it cross-pollinates, and these here will have tassels, and I don't know what flavor those are, but they'll go into the rest of it. And you get a better view of the sunflowers that are volunteers. They came up and are thriving out there. And I've got to really take that first row that just threw seeds. I didn't expect all the seeds to grow, but apparently that last row over by the fence, they're growing pretty good. And of course more volunteer, and I'm really looking at starting a compost pile, but until then we got to get rid of these guys. And I hate to, where is this? Hello. Oh, you know, this thing here, it's that kind of grainy stuff, amorous or whatever. I hate to throw that into a compost heap and end up having compost that's full of these little guys here. So the idea right now is to pull them, and that might keep me busy for a day or so, or 365 days, but we'll pull them. Got I like the way the grass is here with the corn. The corn kind of gives a barrier to people walking out there on the field, especially when it's wet. So we'll see this. I don't know why This is growing better down here. Maybe there's something in the soil. And of course I had been, along this row here, I've been stacking the cuttings from last year. And they don't appear to be too weedy. It's getting a little darker in the shade here. Really nice in the shade. And this is that, what do they call it, Mexican poppy or whatever, but we'll get that out of there. Where's back here? Here's our Acequia dynamic, where we kind of shortened the flow field because that had been flooding all the way out there and nothing was growing. It just washes all the seeds down. So we got the grass way out there, and we'll probably come in and put some more grass back in this area and maybe let it fill up a little bit higher and do a little bit repair. We don't need any water up here. There, I cut that gourd plant down. I think it's some kind of prairie gourd, buffalo gourd, whatever. And I still have my wood chips to spread, and I've got a tiny chipper that might chip some of this stuff up, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the cuttings off the trees, but maybe I'll make some kind of wood fence out of them. And this field here we left clear, and if things are going, maybe we'll trench it out that way and plant something in there. But for now, we'll just keep this clear. Our resident 8-year-old has a four-wheeler, and of course we'll give him a place to run around, go in circles, you know. So hope your life is going straight, you're not going in circles, and if you're not doing anything, come on down. I have plenty of equipment to help weed with. So signing off from Crabtree Properties, 2023 June.